So my main questions for the Ukraine-Russia crisis is this. How many bodies are there? What's the body count? How many Russian dead bodies? How many Ukrainian dead bodies? How far has the Russian invasion, how far has it come along? And are the Ukrainians holding on? Are the Ukrainians holding on? Are the Ukrainians going to prove Scott Ritter wrong? Are the Ukrainians going to prove to the world that Ukraine is worth fighting for? Is that what Ukraine is going to? It's been 2 days so far. It looks like the Ukrainians are holding on. So, February 24th, yesterday, they told us that 50 people were killed, 40 soldiers, 40 Ukrainian soldiers, and 10 civilians. Today, they're telling us 137 Ukrainian soldiers have been killed, and then 316 others have been wounded. So, the total death toll went from 50 dead to 137 dead. In terms of total warfare, that doesn't seem too terrible. In Russia, hundreds of anti-war protesters have been arrested. Dozens of cities. Chernobyl radiation levels have risen since Russia took it over. Chernobyl is 50 miles above Kyiv. And it's Kyiv. It'll always be Kyiv. Kiev, why 2 syllables? It's too clunky. Why so many goddamn syllables? It's fucking Kyiv, motherfucker. It's Kyiv and a bunch of Kievians. Kievians live in Kyiv. Kievians, Kiev, fuck you. Well, the victors write history. No, they don't. History's on the side of the oppressed, motherfuckers. All Russia has done is created the nation state of Ukraine forever and ever. Hopefully, if the world pulls their head out of their collective asses and realizes that this is some Hitler shit. Russia's on the path of evil. They're on the path of evil. They're against democracy. They're throwing anti-war protesters in jail. In jails in, dozens of cities. What the fuck is going on with the radiation shit in Chernobyl? Russia has forces in dozens of cities in Ukraine. Ukraine seems to be holding on. Is there any help on the way? I don't know. Everybody's doing a whole bunch of goddamn sanctions. So, I don't know if there's any help. There's 3,000 U.S. soldiers was put in Poland. Not for sure what happened. I had heard a Fox News clip. Donald Trump got it wrong and thought that U.S. forces had invaded Odessa. And he was like, that would have made big news. Yeah, that would make big fucking news, wouldn't it? A lot of motherfuckers want to act like, well, this is Biden's doing because of his fledgling presidency. He got fucking Putin to invade Ukraine. Why would that doesn't... Donald Trump's the one that fucking sucks Putin's dick. Remember how much he admires the North Korean dictators, Chinese dictators, Russian dictators? He loves dictatorships. He loves these right-wing authoritarian... I don't know if there's any help on the way. It looks like Ukraine's holding on. Scott Ritter made it seem like they were going to be taken out in a week. I thought they'd been taken out maybe in a day. The Zelensky had reached out to Putin for some peace talks. Apparently, the Russian government said in Minsk, they might do some peace talks in Minsk. Don't trust that shit. Fuck them up. Now they'll do peace talks. They wouldn't do peace talks when Zelensky asked for them. Belarus is Russia. Don't go to Minsk for no peace talks. Belarus is Russia. You need to hold peace talks at a neutral third-party country. The third-party spot, not Belarus. I told you, goddamn motherfuckers, Belarus, that dictator, he's going to give us problems. Fucking NATO. What the fuck is the point of goddamn NATO? What the fuck is the point of the United Nations? What the fuck is the point of any of these? America's in like dozens and dozens of military alliances. To give you an idea of how the conflict is going, just a snippet, a tiny story. 82 soldiers of this island. Snake Island is what it means in, American. But Zemini Island. I like that better. So you got 82 soldiers, Ukrainian soldiers, who surrendered at Zemini Island. You had the Russian tankers or whatever say, hey, this is the Russian tankers. You need to surrender or else, we will strike, we will attack. And even though 82 soldiers had surrendered, 82 Ukrainian soldiers, 13 Ukrainian soldiers said, fuck you. Oh, Russian tankers, huh? Oh, Russian tankers are here? Oh, well, shit. Russian tankers, go fuck yourself. And then there was a firefight and they wound up getting shot and killed. And Zelensky said that they'll be, awarded heroes of Ukraine, which of course are fucking heroes. They're super fucking heroes. Jesus Christ. Go fuck yourself. They said that in English. They said, told the Russian motherfuckers, go fuck yourself, you piles of shit. I like that. I wish I was in Ukraine right now. I'd fight the fucking Russian motherfuckers. Ukraine's always been a fucking country my entire life. I'm 40 fucking years old. Since 1982, Ukraine has been a goddamn country. I know there's like this disputed border, regions here and there, but to tell me that Ukraine ain't a fucking country, I don't think motherfuckers would do shit if Canada was being invaded by Putin or Mexico was being invaded by Putin. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. The great thing about being revolutionary is you can see injustice anywhere you go. If you tremble with indignation at injustice, then you are a comrade of mine. So, of course, you have a right to defend yourself. Of course, you got a right to defend yourself. You got a right to defend yourself. You got a right to defend other people. You have a right to defend yourself, and you have a right to defend other people in your home, in your yard. You have a right to defend your fucking neighbors. When the Nazis came and they would take Jews out of their damn homes, the neighbors didn't do shit. All you Christians are supposed to love thy neighbor as thyself. And yet when Nazis are taking out your fucking neighbors, what the hell's the rest of you motherfuckers doing? You're just fighting amongst yourselves and turning on each other. Where's the love? Where's the solidarity? Black people and white people wouldn't do shit when black people would get lynched. Evil does as evil does. Good, though, the limits of evil the bulwark against evil is good men. So the limit of evil is how far good men will allow it to go. Evil can go only as far as good men will allow it to go. So, will enough good men go to Ukraine and tell the Russian motherfuckers, like, yeah, you got nukes. Yeah, you're so powerful and scary, you piles of shit motherfucker, you piece of shit motherfuckers. Even the Russian people don't want this shit to happen, you fucking lowlife motherfucker. 67 years old, he's been in power for 23 years. This is his last hurrah, big-ass legacy. How many Americans are on the side of fucking Putin, the traitorous motherfuckers? My God. Stupid motherfuckers, man. I have a right to defend myself and I have a right to defend others. And particularly, I have a right to defend others when a big person is picking on a smaller person. Might is not right. Might is not right. Right is right. Right is right. Might is not right. Might is only right if it stands up for right. So I love those 13 Ukrainian soldiers. I want to know their names, their histories. I want to know every fucking thing about them. Oh, Russian tanker, huh? Fucking go fuck yourself. Fucking Russia. Fuck you. Coming to my goddamn country, you're going to take my country? And that's the big thing about injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Okay, you think you're being fucking smart? Nazis just took some Jews outside. They just took your neighbors away. Your neighbors are Jewish or black or whatever. The KKK just came in, terrorized. They just took your. You're going to put your head in the sand. You're going to pretend that the Nazi, the fucking racist, you're going to pretend that that criminal terrorist fucking bullshit didn't happen, right? You're fucking smart. No, you're a fucking genius. You won't get yourself involved. You didn't choose right or wrong. In fact, you're such a piece of shit. You'll rationalize and justify the fucking wickedness. Well, hell, why would the damn Nazis take out those Jewish folks unless they clearly must have done something wrong? Frederick Douglass, right? You're a black man being lynched in the antebellum South. What was the reason? People are wicked. That's why coercion works. People are sadistic. People like to hurt others, to oppress others, to have power over others, to make others fear you. The War of 1812 was, it seemed like for respect. America wanted respect. And it's like, Tecumseh had to die. All those people had to die for respect. If anything, that should you should lose respect for that status quo antebellum. Let's just go back to the way it was. Then why did you start the fucking war? Ukraine's holding on. This isn't as bad of a bloodbath as, maybe the Russians are just being so methodical. Maybe we're just not getting all the body counts in. It seems like this shit was going rapid pace, and where the fuck is the media on any of this shit? Where the fuck is the media on any of this shit? You had Scott Ritter telling, the tanks are pouring out of Crimea and, Mariupol or whatever fell. How did he know all that? How did he know all that? And the rest of us are just like, oh, there was an explosion, but we don't know if it was Russia or not. And that was Jackson Hinkle, just, Mr. Overly Skeptical for an hour. Maybe it wasn't Russia. Maybe it was just the army of the 12 monkeys. Remember when Stalin starved 4 million Ukrainians to death? Fucking Stalin. Yeah, of course, Stalinist. Jackson Hinkle's a Stalinist. Starved 4 million Ukrainians to death. Motherfucker. Trotsky just said Stalin was betrayed. He's the betrayer of the revolution. Fuck Stalin. Fucking motherfucker. Starved 4 million Ukrainians to death. He stopped Nazi Germany. The only decent thing about fucking Stalin, but starving 4 million Ukrainians to what good was that? Is that in the name of communism? Ukraine's a very diverse multinational state. It's got the 5th highest titanium production in the world. Mila Kunis still has not said anything about. She was born in Ukraine when it was Soviet Union. So she was born in the Soviet Union, Ukraine. She's born both Russian and Ukrainian. Where Mila Kunis stands is very fucking important. Femin, where Femin stands, where Pussy Riot stands, I've heard Femin. Ina Shevchenko, I have not heard from Pussy Riot. So I don't know if America's, going to come to save today. America! America! Fuck yeah! If we don't go save Ukraine, what the fuck is the point of the empire? What is the point of having so many military bases and such a big war budget? This is the one time when you could use the fucking war machine for some good. You don't defend Ukraine. Are you going to defend Germany? Are you going to defend the United Kingdom? Are you going to defend France? Are you just ceding all of Europe? Just give up Europe. I mean, what we're going to start trading with. I wouldn't mind trading with Africa, Asia, and South America more. But frankly, if white America doesn't stand up for white Europe, white America ain't going to stand up for anybody. They're not going to stand up for anybody. And that is, Gene Kugard did make a good point about racism. Motherfuckers are looking at Putin, and because he's a white face, right? And this is more white on white crime, is I guess Whoopi Goldberg isn't going to tell us that shit no more. This is white on white crime. This isn't racism. He is not attacking Ukrainian, because, well, maybe he does think of them as lesser, as subhuman. Well, the Russians think of the Ukrainians as subhuman, so it's racist in that respect. It's white on white crime. It's white on white crime. But it's incredible that you have Donald Trump and all his fucking sycophant supporters sitting there saying how smart and how great. He's an evil, wicked man. Oh, but he's so smart. Motherfuckers that can acknowledge or see the intelligence of wicked people without seeing the wickedness is only telling on themselves. Putin's smart. Shut the fuck up. He's stupid as shit. The only thing he's smart about is assuming that Americans are shitty, bad people who have no consciences and don't know right from wrong, and they don't have the willpower to stand up for, what's good and right and proper. He thinks he could just go ahead and take Ukraine. It's all the way on the other side of the world. He thinks Americans are a bunch of fucking pussies. And you don't think I heard American journalist got killed. So he's already spilled American blood. All right. Is this a European revolution? Was a coup d'etat?